Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of The Rundown. We are coming to you live as we always do. I am Mike Poworski, coming to you from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most. As we bring to you today Second Amendment views and conservative news. But I don't do this program by myself.
No, you do not, sir. My name is Craig DeLuz, and I am coming at you from the left coast, from the west coast, from behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras in California. I will be bringing you news from behind enemy lines.
From behind enemy lines, behind the western enemy lines, behind the eastern enemy lines, from enemy lines everywhere.
Exactly. But guess what today? Today is a special day, Mike. Guess what day it is?
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yum.
Yes. Oh, that is hilarious.
With
I love that,
sour
Mike.
cream. Yep, tacos, baby. Taco Tuesday.
That song has makes my week now. It does. It does. I fought you on it too. I ain't gonna lie. I fought you on it, but that song made my week.
It's got it's just so happy. It's just so taco-y. It's wonderful.
It is. I very much like it.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Now, did you have your tacos at lunch today, or are you waiting until dinner time?
It will be dinner time. Dinner time. We will be doing. I think we're doing chicken tacos today.
Gotcha. Yeah, we did.
The kids are coming over, and we're just gonna do the whole family thing.
Yeah, we did we did lunchtime tacos today. Went down to the taco truck by the railroad track. So
Nice.
good place to go. The taco trailer.
Nice.
Love doing it. Love doing it.
Can't have too many good tacos.
No. You can't. Now you can have a couple bad ones, and they'll let you know right away.
They will definitely let you know real quick.
Oh boy. Hey, let's move into some stories here, if we shall. This first one just tickles me pink. The state of Florida, we have, of course, Governor DeSantis, Captain Florida, as we call him, and he posted. I think it was just end of last week, where he mentioned it, and it kind of got some traction over the weekend. It looks like it's getting some more traction again. First part of the week, he said that he was going to start his own state militia force. And Craig, you would have thought that people around the country, their heads were going to explode. It was as if he was starting his own insurrection army, and they were only going to have to answer to the governor, and he was going to start invading blue states and firing upon people. They made this out to be, and this, as you're seeing from the story right here in front of you, this must be stopped. It must be stopped, Craig. Must be stopped, because how dare one person have the authority to have a state militia force? Oh, wait, there's actually 27 other states that already have one. And it's completely authorized under the U.S. Constitution. These forces got modernized, I would say, Craig, back during World War II time period. Right. When all of the National Guard units and the reserves were called up, the states were left with nobody to take care of, national disasters or state disasters that occurred. Whether it be your mudslides and everything you have out there, or the hurricanes in Florida. So all of our traditional, reserve responders were gone. Mm-hmm. Well, the governor created, and many governors, like I said, 27 governors currently have them, state militia forces, and they pretty much fall under the state's National Guard Bureau is where they set. The difference between the two of them is one is 100% funded training and everything by the federal government, and the other is funded by the state. The National Guard is subject to being called up. The state militia is not. Now, it's probably because it's got that scary word in there, militia.
Militia, yeah.
Well, in Florida, they actually are called the Florida Guard. Now, there's the Florida National Guard, right. Army National Guard and Air National Guard, but then there's the Florida Guard. They already exist, and this is what people don't understand. They already exist. It's just the infrastructure of them, though. It's just the right. The staffing people, because if they ever needed, they could be calling up. I mean, this is Craig, doctors, medical personnel, it's all kinds of things that the governor can move around the state in a case of emergency. Again, exists already in 27 states. And what he's trying to do, because you and I talked about the story a week or two ago, remember the Oklahoma National Guard said they were not going to get vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
And the federal government said, well, yes, they are. Otherwise, we're going to stop funding and giving them training.
Right.
Well, if it's the state force and not the military's National Guard, and it's the state guard, I know it's a fine line in terminology there.
Biden.
Yeah, exactly right. They get to say bye-bye, Biden, and Biden has no control over them.
Right.
So very interesting, very interesting. I doing the research too, and I knew some of this a little bit beforehand. There's actually 2 states out there that have a naval militia.
Really? What states are those?
New York is one, and I think Georgia is the other one. I'm not sure, but I know New York is one as a naval militia.
Georgia?
Well, I have to check, but I know New York has it, and what it is, it's a collection of small boat owners that have become the naval militia in case anything ever occurred where they need to do, a rescue operation or something like that. They could be called upon by the government, in their state government, into service to help do rescue or emergency relief operations.
I just find this that the way in which people are reacting to anything that Ron DeSantis does, it's literally, it's kind of Trump-esque, to be quite honest. Yes. It's kind of like he were Donald Trump, and anything that he does or anything that he says evokes the worst sort of response out of the left. It's entertaining, to say the least. But the funny part is that, especially with Ron DeSantis, I think that he's able to communicate a logic behind it that is just that I think Donald Trump didn't. I think his staff did. I think he was very good at selecting people, who could communicate the point of the reasons why he was doing some of the things that he was doing. But Ron DeSantis himself is very effective at communicating those things. And I think this is just another example of the quality of his leadership. And he does things that makes the left crazy, while at the same time is very effective and does right by the citizens of Florida. Exactly right.
Just as a clarifier, so everybody else doesn't have to Google it. States with active naval militias: Alaska, California. You have the California State Guard Maritime Command.
Oh, we got the California militia.
The New York Naval Militia, Ohio Naval Militia. That's good. I guess that's for inland waterways and lakes. South Carolina, and then Texas.
Why does Ohio have a naval militia?
Oh, well, for all the way when there's a tsunami and the wave comes inland from the East Coast and lands on Ohio, they can, have boats. So they have boats.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know,
Alrighty then.
It's like selling the ice machine to the Eskimos, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's a good salesman, Somebody sold it to the governor there and he bought into it. Let's see. Let's move along, Craig. And this one is a San Francisco story. So this one's pretty good. There was I'm trying to remember the name of the restaurant. I looked it up while I'm doing this. There was a restaurant in San Francisco. And this was not a San Francisco treat. It was it looks like a privately owned restaurant out there where it was Jesse and Hilda, something like that. It's a weird name to it.
Hilda and Jesse.
Hilda and Jesse. There we go. I had it just backwards.
It's in North Beach.
So, is that? I don't know what part of San Francisco it is. I'm assuming it's the northern part of the beach area.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming as well.
And 3 police officers went in there for breakfast. And because that's kind of it looks like it's one of those private, it's a privately owned restaurant, but it's a breakfast and lunch kind of place,
Right.
And they go in there, they sit down, and I guess while they're sitting down and they're getting ready to be served or have their meal, one of the employees comes over to the manager and asks them to leave because we're uncomfortable because of the presence of your firearms. And Craig, I know you said in the last story people lost their minds, but this is just absolute idiocy, lunacy, ridiculousness. We're afraid of the presence of your weapons. Okay, so hold on, let me get this straight, because I would have had court with them right there. Are you afraid that the weapon's going to get out and do something on its own? Is that what you're saying? Or are you telling me you're outright racist because I'm a white cop and you have black patrons in here? Because the woman, as cited in her article, excuse me, in her response via Instagram, says that they're afraid for, what was the communities, Craig? It's an acronym. I wrote the acronym down and now my notepad's gone.
I'm looking for it here.
BOPICs or something like that.
Presence of officers or weapons in the restaurant made us feel uncomfortable. Political statement. It's a safe place for BIPOC. BIPOC stands for Black, Indigenous, and People of Color.
Yeah, there you go. So we're afraid your gun is going to go shoot a black person in our restaurant. We understand you're here for the bacon and it's probably fake bacon and probably fake eggs. I'm guessing it's San Francisco, but we're afraid that your gun's going to go out and do something. And they asked the officers to leave, and you know what the officers did? Because who wants to be the guy on the media looking bad, right? So they said okay, and they left. Well, I guess somebody else picked up the story, and a couple hundred bad Yelp reviews were given. And their story, just like you read, Craig, was nope. We don't want that here. We don't want weapons. It's a safe place. For minorities and cops are bad and all of that. And then guess what happened, Craig?
Did they get robbed?
Well, they didn't get robbed, but they sure lost a lot of money.
Yes, that's I knew they didn't get robbed. I was not hoping that they got robbed, but. Now that people know that police officers will no longer be attending that restaurant, they now have identified themselves as a gun-free, safety-free. It's a place now that can be easily robbed.
Yes.
Although they probably don't have any money anymore.
Yeah. So they let me see if I can pull this back up here. They were adamant. Oh, well, it's done. We don't want the people here. The bad reviews start to come out. They lose their butts in the course of just like the past 4 days. I mean, it's only happened, back on Thursday or Friday.
Right.
And since that time, the owner has come back on and said, "Hold on now, we're gonna do a 180 here. Remember that stuff we said the other day? Completely wrong. Completely wrong. We love SFPD. They do a job that's it's unbelievable what they do. We can't thank them enough, and we wish to have them and all of SFPD back in here. And it's just amazing how quick a bad weekend of cash flow from some Yelp reviews from tossing some cops out can turn even the hippie restaurant owners into cop lovers.
But Mike, see, this is the reason why. Find your lane and stay in it. Don't get into talking politics if you own a restaurant, if you're in sports, something like that. Because in the end, it's just going to cost you money. And here's the thing. I'm not saying you don't have a right to your opinion. Just don't do it in the course of doing your business, right? If you're going to talk your politics in the middle of your business, then just know that you're going to upset somebody. I learned this in politics when you have someone running for office, a candidate running for office. One of the first things they tell you is you don't endorse people. You don't endorse people because you never make any friends. All you do is you make enemies, right? And so stay out of it. Anyway, but then on top of it, here are guys who are there to protect you and protect your business. And you're going to tell them they're not welcome there? Well, then guess what? Most of the rest of the folks aren't going to want to be there, because I don't want to be someplace where those who are supposed to be protecting us and enforcing the law are not welcome. I wouldn't want to be there. So there you go.
Yeah, it's just again, it's the moronic way they went about it. They didn't say we don't like cops. They said your weapons make us feel unsafe. We need you to leave. You're welcome to come back though if you want to come back in civilian clothes without your guns. It's they're idiots, because once again the gun's going to jump up. Ma'am, I'm sorry I can't eat in your restaurant. There's a lot of knives, and I think there might be some knife hate going on here. So ridiculous. So after they lose all this money, Craig, and they watch their business get trashed on the internet, they said on Sunday evening, we made a mistake. They said Sunday evening, we made a mistake and apologized for the unfortunate incident on Friday when we asked members of SFPD to leave our restaurant. We are grateful to all the members of the force who work hard to keep us safe, especially during these challenging times. We hope this will be a teachable moment for us as we prepare and continue to build bridges with the SFPD.
Well, and keep in mind, this is a city where they are doing smash and grabs. They are robbing.
Yep.
Where you have people shooting drugs and pooping in the streets. I mean, poop is going down in the streets, literally, right?
Yeah.
Probably right in front of their business. And they're going to have to call SFPD. And SFPD is going to say, yeah, we would come, but all of our officers are armed with firearms and they're not welcome in your restaurant.
Exactly right. Yeah, and they probably realized a little bit of that as well, right? The bad guys can read Yelp reviews. Oh, cops not welcome
Yes,
there.
they
Guess
can.
where we're
But
going.
I'm guessing what it was they had the Sunday morning brunch folk didn't show up,
Yep.
and that's when they realized, oops, we made a mistake.
Yeah. We made a little boo boo here. We made a little boo boo. In fact, they closed it out by saying, "Let's see, these are stressful times. We handled this badly." Yeah, duh. Yeah, I'd say you did.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think some folks will return. I've never been there, so I can't say that I will return. But I also think that some folks they've lost for good.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's move to the opposite coast now, to the coast with the most over in South Carolina. We know that South Carolina became the 46th state to have recognized open carry, some form of open carry. That law was approved back in May, went into effect this past August 15th. What does open carry mean? It means there's a multitude of places now you can carry those firearms. Handguns is what their law specifies, I believe. It's handguns. Now, they have certain stipulations that are a little more restrictive than other states, but you know what? You eat that elephant one bite at a time, right? So their law says you can carry you can open carry your handgun if you have a concealed firearm license. Why do you have to have the concealed firearm license? Because that says I've had the background check and I've had some level of training. So they call this open carry with training is I believe the name of their the statute also as well. So it's open carry with training. So there are some places that were specified in the law that you can't carry it, and it's sort of the usual places, and it's probably the same places, Craig, that you can't carry a concealed firearm, because again, they're tied to their concealed carry training with their open carry authorization. So I'm going to guess, and listen, this varies from state to state. Please, folks, check out every state's different items, because they're as varied could be. But it's going to be places like, inside city buildings, organized sporting events, they're inside a jail or a church or a police station. And I know half of those I just said probably don't apply to the state you're sitting in watching me and Craig right now, which is why you need to check. So, but this town of Columbia, there's a police chief in the town of Columbia, and we have spoken to him before.
Conway.
Oh, Columbia. I'm sorry. Yeah, and Columbia is the capital. And Conway, the police chief there, and he's made the top 5 list for me. Police Chief Dale Long. He's an ardent anti-open carry guy, which probably means, from the stuff that we've seen from him before, he's just an anti-gun guy all around. One of those people that believe the only people that should have guns are the police and the government.
Well, they're friends.
Well, of course, they give them special permission. That's what cronyism is, right?
Right.
So the police chief presented the idea of implementing restrictions the past month, and this is during permitted events. Now, the state law that was just written, the open carry law, gives cities and counties the ability to restrict open carry at permitted events, such as inside city buildings or festivals or carnivals or any parades, things like that permitted. So it gives that ability. Other than that, South Carolina has a very good preemption law, so they can't go out creating other weird laws, but it gives them the ability to restrict where open carry can occur. Now, that's open carry, folks. So listen, if they say you can't open carry there, you could still concealed carry there. All right. So be aware of that. But however, it's just another, and I believe that's the point where I'm trying to get to here, another police chief, another small town police chief. I don't care if it's a big town, because this happened in Columbia as well when I was doing the research on it, that they believe, well, open carry, Craig. Well, open carry, that means people are going to be shooting each other on the street corners. It means it's going to be the Wild West out there.
Right.
And every time there's an open carry. Craig, this started when we had concealed carry licenses first come out.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we have open carry licenses come out, the left and the anti-gun always say it's going to be bloodshed in the streets. We just saw this in the Supreme Court, Craig. That was the argument when they filed with the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association. Well, if there's guns, then people are going to be shooting each other, and it's going to be the Wild West out there. Yet it never seems to happen. All you have here is an anti-gun control person who wants to keep you from protecting yourself. You don't need to protect yourself. That's what he's there for, and he'll be there in 10 to 12 minutes when somebody's shooting at you.
Exactly. And that's the worst thing about these types of cops is, they assume that only cops or bad guys are going to be the ones with guns. And so they assume that everyone who's not a cop with a gun is a bad guy.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that's how many law enforcement officers are trained. If you see a person with a civilian with a gun, they must be a bad guy. And I think part of this is their worry that, well, if someone's carrying a gun, that they're probably going to wind up getting shot by a cop because, well, hey, they must be a bad guy if they're carrying a gun in public. My question is, how do you know if you're at an event? How do you know if it's a permitted event or not? How do you know if it's not just a gathering as opposed to a permanent event? What if it's a small event, but it is still permitted? Are you now illegally openly carrying your firearm?
Yeah, right. If you turn the corner, you're down at the at the breakfast place having yourself a little brunch, and you turn the corner and there's an alphabet charity event going on in the street, and you didn't know about it. Boom. What happens? Do we get some common sense from law enforcement? Because again, I think most of the time this attitude comes from the executives, but then flows down. But like you said, Craig, if the officers are trained one way instead of the other, then that's what they know. Then that's what they know. So it's left to be seen. The good thing, and I know, like in the state of Georgia, there's places that don't allow open carry, but they can't restrict the concealed carry. Mm-hmm. So I've been with people before where they're open carrying. As we walk up to the door, they just untuck their shirt and put it over the gun. And guess what? Completely in agreement with the law there.
Yep. That's the way you do it. Because ultimately, concealed carry permit holders and obviously in this case, those who are open carrying, they're gonna comply with the law. Their goal, they're not trying to break the law. They're not trying to be troublemakers. They just want to be able to comply with the law. And the problem with laws like this is they can oftentimes confuse people. If you're in South Carolina, you go from one city to another and you don't know exactly what the laws are. That's how people wind up getting you. That's the reason why things like preemption exist, so that you can know the law in that state, so you don't become you don't break the law unknowingly. Like here in California, one of the big things that they're doing in some of the cities is banning hollow points, right? Well, if I'm concealed carrying and I go to a city that has banned hollow points, if they find out that I'm carrying, okay, I'm legally carrying, but if they find out that I have hollow points, now I'm breaking the law. And I didn't even know if they were illegal in that city or not.
Yeah, and again, listen, the reason that's occurring is because you've got so many people out there that believe things like, I don't know, Kenosha prosecutors that say when you shoot a hollow point bullet, it explodes.
Right.
And it's not. It's actually safer for everybody else around it except for your target. Right. It will put your target down faster, and not affect those around.
It's a lot less likely to go. It's a lot more likely to stop inside of your target, as opposed to going through your target and hitting whatever's behind them or whoever is behind them.
Yes. For those that just might happen to be tuning in and don't understand how bullets work, imagine this: the Full Metal Jacket bullet is a needle that you push through a piece of material. It goes straight through. Now, a hollow point round, imagine that has a soft tip, and as you hit the piece of material, it mushrooms and flattens and doesn't go through. Right. Well, that's what happens. Now, obviously, the bullet's going to enter the target. It's not going to smash up against the front of it, but it does not tend to leave the target that you shoot at. So exactly, that's just the basic bullet 101 theory.
Basic bullet 101.
Yeah. So again, whether you open carry or concealed carry, congratulations to those that are carrying. Remember, people that carry firearms regularly, legally, are the least likely to commit crimes in America, proven over and over and over again. This year, it was less than 0.5%. that were in that category. Lower,
By the way,
in fact,
just so you
Greg,
folks know,
than police officers.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. They are
Yep.
less likely to commit crimes than even police officers.
Yep. Yeah. So it's a very, very legal-minded group. So we could say that.
Yeah.
Speaking of legal-minded carrying firearm groups, let's talk about El Paso County in Colorado. The sheriff's office there has issued somewhere in the neighborhood of 10, I think it was 10,000, 15,000 concealed permits this year, because their sheriff is a shall issue permit guy, and as long as you are not disqualified per the statute, then you, according to him, you are qualified to carry that firearm.
At
You're qualified to
50,000
get the
50,000
background.
permits.
How much was it?
Not this year, but they've issued 50,000 permits.
50,000. Okay, I think I said 15. So 50,000. That's great. That's wonderful. I think they said also something like 2,500 still in the process. I'm sure they're
Yes.
working them every day. And so the sheriff there made a little video. He was trying to compliment and give an attaboy to the staff that processes these permits. I mean, and that's a full-time unit there. You've got 55,000, right? You've got almost 60,000 total for the year that you're getting through. Do the math, folks. You're doing 5,000 of these things a month. That doesn't happen with one person and on a computer. That's a whole team of people. So to compliment them, he made himself a little video showing. Craig, let's see the picture. Let's take a look at the picture.
Well, see, now there's someone else who actually is used to processing a lot of work, and that would be Santa Claus.
That's it. A lot of requests. Man gets a lot of requests this time of year, and he knows how to do it. So here's Santa getting his concealed permit. So when he's in Colorado, he does not have to worry about the Grinch coming after him for his goodie bag.
And the worst part about this is, Mike, people got mad at this guy. They got mad at him, at the sheriff, for posting.
Oh, I thought you were saying Santa. They got mad at Santa.
We just had a shooting at a high school, and now you're showing Santa getting a concealed carry permit. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? It's really, so in other words, Santa is following the law when it comes to carrying a firearm. That is what this is showing. Santa's following the law.
Yeah,
moron.
I also picture Santa with like a big old hog leg, like a 8-inch stainless steel kind of 44 Magnum kind of gun.
I could totally see him with a Colt Python.
Yeah, exactly. 8-inch Colt Python. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I can see that. Yeah. It's an 88 Magnum, that kind of nonsense. Yeah. People lost their mind, Craig. People just lost their mind. Oh my God, Santa Claus got a gun. This is what they said. How insensitive with the school shooting only 3 days ago. What did Santa do it? Did Santa freaking do it? All right. Wake up. All right. Maybe if somebody in the school had been legally armed, that kid wouldn't have shot anybody. All right.
Yeah.
If Santa had been at the front door with his hog leg, that kid could have been put down.
Right. I just don't get it. Why is that so funny? Santa's got a gun.
Yeah. Yep. Ho, ho, ho. Boom.
Anyway, right. We are in a day and age where just people are, the things that upset people, and I guess maybe part of it, man, is social media. Social media has given people the ability to communicate things that they've always felt, and we're just stupid. And I don't know that that social media is making people stupid or is revealing people's stupidity. I sometimes I think these people always were like this.
I think a lot of it is it gives the Ken and Karen. It gives the Ken and Karens out an audience, and they feel that they can complain about whatever they want whenever they want to. Now that may have started with like a Yelp review or a Google review, and you get a response from the manager. But now it's if you walk in somewhere and excuse me, ma'am, there's a hair in my soup. And if you don't give them oh my God, it's the end of the world, we're going to replace it, then their day's done. They expect you to bend over backwards for them. And if they have the slightest complaint, you're going to have to do it. I call it the customer service or the customer care generation. I am the customer and you'd better care about what I say. No, that's not what it comes down to. You know what it comes down to? I need to maintain a business and make a profit. Now, if that means I have to keep 90% of the people happy at me, great. The other 10%, get bent, get out. All right.
Get bent.
Ridiculous.
Oh my! Well, let's
Absolutely
talk
ridiculous.
about keeping folks happy.
Yeah, I know we're just talking about firing people at work and getting rid of people, employees, and all kinds. It's hard to keep a job right now and over the holidays.
Mhm.
Well, it looks like up in New York, we've got some
Right.
more homeless, maybe
Right.
homeless at some point. We've got some more unemployment problems going on up out in New York.
Exactly. In eras now where unemployment has been at record highs, and there's one group though amongst unemployment has actually hit 100%, and
Yes.
that would be among the Cuomo brothers. Unemployment has risen to 100%, and well, they're both unemployed for the same reason. For sexual harassment, one of them for his own sexual harassment, the other one for his own sexual harassment and defending his brother's sexual harassment.
This looks like a before and after photo of sexual harassment allegations with these two.
There is no love lost for either one of these guys.
No.
I am happy to see them. I just, the sad part is I wish that they could have been removed from their positions just because they're bad at them.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. God forbid we remove people for being inadequate at their job.
Right. I mean, you have one guy who was clearly a horrible governor, resulted in the death of thousands of senior citizens by putting people, who had COVID into nursing homes, along with all the other bad stuff that he did. That he did, and then you have another guy who's supposed to be a journalist, but clearly demonstrated he did not know how to be objective as a journalist. Quite frankly, both of them need to be gone, and I'm glad they are.
Yeah, there is good news on the Cuomo front. I did some checking in there. There are 3 Cuomo sisters, and all of them are employed. So
Okay.
it's just a male thing there on their side of the family. It's not the whole bloodline. So the Cuomo family is not a complete wreck, just the male side. So
There you go. There you go. There you go. Hey, it's about that time. Why don't you give a shout out to our sponsors?
let's say hey to our good friends over at Gorilla Machining. Be sure to check out Gorilla Machining, Grid Defense, and of course the California Republican Assembly.
Yes, please make sure to check them all out. Their links are in the description to this video. Check them out, visit them, and let them know that the guys over at The Rundown suggested that you stop by. And with that, we're going to call it a day. We very much appreciate you guys tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program, telling your friends about The Rundown, the place for 2A news and conservative views. We will talk to you tomorrow on Hump Day.
Hump Day.